Randy Orton has one of the most legendary careers in WWE, and we've seen the Viper evolve across the WWE games over the years as well. But something we have yet to see from WWE 2K games is putting the Apex Predator front and center as the main focus of the game. With WWE 2K24 on the horizon, it's time we figure out how 2K24 should make the Randy Orton Showcase mode. Showcase mode in 22 and 23 have slight tweaks. With Rey Mysterio, it was all about playing as Rey, and with John Cena, they changed the format slightly so you were focusing on playing as John Cena's opponents for every single match throughout his historic career. If we get Randy Orton as a showcase in 2K24, the first thing we should look at is how they can change the formula so it's not boring. I think you mix it up by playing as both Randy Orton and as his opponents and highlighting key moments outside of just having the matches. Randy's biggest rivalries and best matches didn't always come in the form of him winning. For so much of the Viper's career, he's been a heel. We've seen face Randy Orton, but nothing is better than the sick, sadistic Viper and Legend Killer. I think for the showcase, we are still going to get around 13 to 15 matches for the entire mode, and maybe a bonus match or two at the end like they did with Cena. But let's skip the debut matches for this time. Randy's first match on SmackDown was against Hardcore Holly, and his first match on Raw was against Stevie Richards. Both, as far as I can tell, and everybody else, they're not associated with WWE anymore, so I don't think we would get those matches. I think they would need to fast forward. And like the Rey Mysterio showcase, we didn't need the first ever match, so we need to jump ahead in the feuds instead. One of Randy's first feuds that could work is against The Undertaker, where he was challenged by Biker Taker on SmackDown. In that match, we actually had Triple H interfere and attack Undertaker. Undertaker over the years had several huge matches against Randy Orton, and it could definitely be highlighted here. You would unlock different versions of Undertaker over the years, and we'll talk about Taker a little bit more here. Unlock, once again, the Undisputed Championship, and some early SmackDown and Raw arenas too. But let's look closely at a match that has a lot in it that could be a huge game changer for a Randy Orton showcase. Armageddon 2003. Randy Orton versus RVD for the Intercontinental Championship. But this match is pretty special in terms of highlighting in a showcase mode, and there are a couple of reasons why. This is Randy in Evolution, so we would get his theme song, which is the Evolution theme he used in this match. Ric Flair was his manager in this match. Now, we don't know if Ric Flair would be in 2K24 as part of a Legends deal. Yes, we know Ric Flair is now signed with AEW and he's pumping out the woo drinks left and right, and he's doing a short run there until the new year with Sting. I get all of that, but there is still a potential opportunity to have Ric Flair join 2K24 as a legend. And it would certainly need to work if we were going to do a Randy Orton showcase because of the influence of Evolution throughout his career. Let's assume Rick's in the game. You get young version of Randy unlocked, and most importantly, special guest referee Mick Foley. This would give us Mick Foley in the game, and we've only had Cactus Jack for the last 2 games, which has been very annoying. Mick Foley was a huge part of Randy's career too, and of course, special guest referee making the return here, bringing this match type back to the series and unlocking it through showcase mode. And we mentioned Evolution, and this was a pivotal part of Randy's career. Ric Flair, Batista, Triple H, and Orton himself come together in 2003 to form Evolution. 2K24 could do something different when it comes to showcase mode. What I don't like about showcase is generic music, no commentary from the highlighted key moments of the showcase, the repetitive nature of just completing objectives and constantly pausing the menu to see what move I need to pull off next to get to the next sequence. It felt jarring, it felt broken up, it wasn't fluid, and it wasn't like what I enjoyed so much of the earlier Road to WrestleMania and showcase modes of years past. What they can do to change up the formula a bit is include showcase moments. Not the matches, but these important, purposeful moments to highlight in the career of Randy Orton. Evolution forming is one of those. They didn't form in a match, and the way this could play out is when Evolution formed, it was on Monday Night Raw, and it was a match of Big Papa Pump versus Batista. So instead of playing that match, we could play out the moment after it with the disqualification where Randy Orton got involved and took out Big Papa Pump. This led to Ric Flair getting involved, and it led to Triple H coming down too. Now think about this for a second. This one match alone, this moment alone, you get young Randy Orton. I'm thinking for unlockables here. You get young Randy Orton, you get Ric Flair, Triple H, Batista, all in their early 2000s look. You unlock Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner. We didn't get him in 23. We got regular Scott Steiner, and they put Big Papa Pump behind my faction. This would allow us to get the updated Scott Steiner in the game in an important moment and have it set as an unlockable, as well as the Raw arena to go along with it. And not only that, we're talking about getting unlockables for Evolution, the theme song, the Titantron, because this is the moment that they formed the group together. Now, Randy's run with Evolution was so important because it would give us matches like him versus Triple H, Randy versus Batista too, and the feud between him and Triple H was historic and went on for years and years. And we could see that evolution, no pun intended, but we could see that sequence of the different Triple H matches throughout a Randy Orton showcase. And I by the way, I can't forget this because it'll eat at everybody and there's probably already comments surrounding it. We would get the unlockable, of course, of Burn in My Light, Randy Orton's theme song, his earlier theme that everyone always requests to have in a 2K game. If 2K can just renew the license for this, give us the updated current Randy Orton theme, his retro one, and the Evolution theme, I think we're all set at that point. Now, unfortunately, I really don't think they play through Randy's first heavyweight championship win at SummerSlam because it was against Chris Benoit, so I'm gonna assume they would just completely omit that. They might give you a screenshot or a little bit of a sequence showing Randy Orton in real life just holding up the World Heavyweight Championship, but not acknowledging Benoit. But we could also see a huge career-defining match, and even Orton has said in interviews himself it's his favorite, and that's Randy Orton versus Mick Foley at Backlash 2004. This is a huge, grueling Extreme Rules match that you can get really cool unlockables like alt versions of Mick Foley included, the Backlash Arena. You could also get some weapons unlocked too. This is one of the things that I want 2K24 to do is update that weapon wheel and give us some more options and new stuff, cool stuff. One of the things that came out in this match that's iconic is the barbed wire baseball bat. And the other one that they could highlight, I don't know if they would really include it into the game to let us play, but the inclusion of thumbtacks. The moment when Randy Orton tries to go for an RKO on Mick Foley, it's reversed, and Randy Orton lands into the thumbtacks is a huge WWE moment, and you want to have that recreated in the game. Would I think 2K would let us go and just start grabbing thumbtacks in the game itself and pour them out like we'd see in Fight Forever? I doubt it. I think that's too violent and they wouldn't go in that direction, but they might make it a moment and a sequence to play through in the showcase mode. Would I want it unlocked? Well, 100%. Come on. And because the legend killer time period of Randy Orton's career was such a huge deal, you can include other wrestlers. There's so many to go through, but you can get his feud with Kurt Angle. At SummerSlam 2006, he had a big match against Hulk Hogan. Randy Orton versus Shawn Michaels, Cyber Sunday 2007. Other great highlights to focus on, matches to have, the Monday Night Raw match against Kofi Kingston. Or like I mentioned, the long historical feud with Triple H and the WrestleMania match too. The WrestleMania match against Seth Rollins where he delivered arguably like the biggest, craziest RKO ever. Giving you that stadium, the Seth Rollins, Randy Orton attires too, maybe even that cool spot to be able to unlock it as a move. We can't forget John Cena or the matches with The Undertaker where Randy Orton went up against Taker at No Mercy 2005 and they had a casket match. That is one of the big things here that I'm focusing on, and we did this in another video focusing on Undertaker Showcase, what match types you could unlock and they could include through the showcase mode. Special guest referee being one of them we mentioned, and casket match that he had with Undertaker, being able to bring that back into the game. And with unlockables, like we mentioned, casket match, special guest referee, another Randy feud was with him versus Cena in 2009. And they had a WWE title match, but it was an I Quit match, another match type you could include through the showcase. Easy one to bring back and return to the game series, giving us 3 returning match types that are typically very high on the wish list for players. And they're not outlandish, crazy ones. We have had them in years past, and especially special guest referee has made pretty much a big resurgence on WWE programming lately too. Another way to include some great unlockables, look at the history of Randy and Cody Rhodes. Cody might actually be the cover star for 2K24. I really wouldn't be surprised. They could showcase some of the moments during Legacy too. But if they can't get Ted DiBiase Jr. in there, I understand, but they can just focus on the matches that Randy and Cody had in years past. He had his face broken and his nose broken, and he was wearing the plastic mask, going with the Dr. Doom character. They had a great match on SmackDown. It was a street fight. I know it's like a no holds barred Extreme Rules, but you could technically bring in street fight as a match type. More importantly, with the unlockables, you could bring in different versions of Cody Rhodes this way too, highlighting Cody's career and Randy's too. And of course, we can't forget Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt is being heavily rumored to be a part or celebrated somehow, giving attention to in the form of a showcase for 2K24. It's simply just the rumors. We don't know if that's going to happen. I don't see a full-blown Bray Wyatt showcase happening in 24. I think showcase is already decided way before Bray's passing even occurred. I would love for a Bray Wyatt showcase. I would also love for them to do something with a special edition or showcase matches. This is one way that I think they could honor Bray and be able to include a little bit more through Randy Orton showcase mode. You could give us the original Randy Orton Bray Wyatt WrestleMania match they had. At WrestleMania 33, Bray Wyatt was WWE champion going against Randy Orton. This is the one where they put all like the worms and the projections on the mat and the overhead shots, and it was terrible. But it's a way to get a really cool WrestleMania match included, the arena, as well, the other version of Bray Wyatt in there too. Not only that, you could also include The Fiend this way, where you had a really cool rivalry, especially during the pandemic, between Randy, Bray Wyatt, The Fiend, and you could include the alternate version of Alexa Bliss in there too. And to round it out with Bray Wyatt, you would then give us the current day, the 2K23 version of Bray, and that way 2K gives us 3 different versions of Bray Wyatt in the game. There's so much that could be included, and some stuff that obviously wouldn't be in there, like Edge and doing rated RKO. RK Bro is not a thing and will not be acknowledged. But there are even more matches and feuds they could pull from. Matches with Rey Mysterio, Brock Lesnar, where Brock busted open his head, Roman Reigns, even a really good feud with Wade Barrett during the time when Wade and Randy were going at it on SmackDown. It's a really good feud. There's so much to choose from, so many versions of Randy they could put in the game, because we know based off of the previous showcases, they love to give you 15 versions of John Cena and Rey Mysterio. You could do a lot of different versions of Randy too. And if it's not Randy Orton for the showcase, my gut tells me it could be The Undertaker. But if you want to talk about that, click right here, because we have a full breakdown of what an Undertaker showcase mode could look like. See ya.